We hinted at it in the opening of the video, but we wanted to take a closer look at some big investments that have been going on this week. It seems like right before the holiday, everybody wanted to announce the fact that they're investing a lot of money into AI infrastructure. I want to start off with a company that we just recently covered on Networking Field Day, and that's Nokia, because they've agreed to commit $4 billion to U.S. research, development, and manufacturing to speed up AI-ready network infrastructure. Most of the funding will support R&D at Bell Labs in New Jersey, and the rest is going to be going to facilities in Texas and Pennsylvania as well. The initiative, which is backed by the current presidential administration, aims to boost domestic AI capabilities, improve connectivity, and strengthen national security, while also meeting growing demand from AI and cloud customers and advancing Nokia's partnership with NVIDIA. Al, I'm going to jump in here and talk a little bit about this because Nokia is really trying to make moves to be a valuable partner in the networking space. They are building out infrastructure that will allow them to build AI-ready networks. And one of the things that we learned at Networking Field Day is that's not easy to do. So you may probably look at this and say, $4 billion doesn't sound like a whole lot. Well, when you're looking at the amount of money that NVIDIA and Microsoft and OpenAI and CoreWeave and all these other companies are throwing back and forth at each other, yeah, $4 billion doesn't sound like a lot. But $4 billion for a company like Nokia to invest in AI networking, that is a ton. And I think it's super important because that's the way that the data gets moved from where it is resting currently to where it needs to be processed and run on these inferencing tools and things like that. I'm glad to see that they're doing this. And the discussion that we had at Bell Labs, it was actually something that was discussed by Scott Robon from Solutional during the Nokia presentation at Networking Field Day. They have a lot of good data points on this. Like, they've done a lot of work out there. They're really, hitting this pretty hard. I think it's important to understand that just because we're not seeing huge dollar values flying back and forth outside of GPUs and compute clusters doesn't mean that there's not a lot of research going on. Al, what's your take on this?
I think it is important to put context on what $4 billion of networking, and particular networking research, looks like compared to the tens of billions of dollars that we talk about for buying GPUs. And GPUs are ridiculously expensive. A single GPU can cost as much as a new car, but you don't need a new network switch for each of those GPUs. You hang those multiple GPUs off a switch. So in terms of what things cost and the scale of investment, yeah, $4 billion is a big deal here. And as you say, the network is often one of the challenges in building an infrastructure for AI. And we'll look at this again in January with AI Infrastructure Field Day. Moving the data to feed those very expensive GPUs is a vital part of getting the most value out of them. This is why network design for AI is a critical part of any AI data center infrastructure design. And this commitment to do R&D onshore in the US, really great thing. It's very helpful for the US sovereignty to not be looking outside to network vendors that may be Chinese-based, having Huawei and the likes being on the outside these days due to some concerns around sovereignty. So seeing Nokia committing in here, supported by the current government, hopefully supported by future governments as well, really good thing to see.